middle February, Fort Myers experienced a red tide breakout affecting the businesses and the tourist economy of the city. Dr. Michael Parsons is the Director of Ecological Sciences at FGCU. He has studied and experienced red tide firsthand.
I know of a few people personally, some students at FGCU who grew up down here. One student in particular, she could detect red tide before we would see it in the Elkhorn, because her eyes would just start thinking and her nose would start running. Like, oh, if there's something in the air, I can totally react to it. So,
Dr. Parsons has advice on how to avoid red tide.
usually red tide is going to be really patchy, and so if it's affecting one area, just moving a mile or two down the beach, you won't see the same effect. I think too many people, especially tourists, if they go on a beach and they see that fish, and their eyes start seeing, and they just go and leave. But if you move a mile or two down the beach, everything's all right.
Businesses are affected by red tide whenever a breakout hits the news. Dean's Dive Center, Scott Wheeler, explains how the shop takes a major hit when there is a planned dive during red tide.
As far as affecting, beachgoers and tourists coming down here for, catching some rays on the beach, it definitely would affect that. As far as, them not wanting to deal with, some of the dead fish on the beaches, the smell. As far as diving goes, our local divers also affected because they would make plans to avoid going diving in some areas or even going diving at all.
If they do plan to dive on, they change some plans.
Definitely avoid the area or maybe go out past where the red tide is, because red tide doesn't always make it out, to some of the further destinations out here. Or, like you said, just avoid it, whether going north or south to go.
Skip One Seafood also has problems when it comes to red tide, according to Chaz Fullwood.
Recently, we had a problem with clams, and we were not able to get any clams whatsoever. The state will come in and they will completely shut down as far as anything farm-raised or locally caught. During those times, we do definitely see a drop in customers.
So, do you think this actually drives away our tourist economy?
Yeah, there is evidence for tourism. And companies and restaurants, hotels have they've actually dedicated some money in the past towards red tide research and trying to educate the general public about it, because it hurts their bottom line.